Hey everybody, this is Lou Santiago, and this is Three Lefts Don't Make a Right, the talk show where we talk about whatever we want, including cars. So here's the deal, guys. I got to apologize about something. If you guys noticed the thumbnail on YouTube, it said that we were going to have Craig Jackson of Barrett Jackson fame. Well, with everything going on and them trying to get the show set up for next month, he had to cancel, and he's going to be in next week. So what we're going to do is we move some stuff around. He won't. I'm sorry. We're moving stuff around. Let me say, I got to make sure the date with John. But what we're going to do for tonight is we're going to do Jimmy the Junkyard. He's the junkyard guy that we know, right? And Jimmy actually runs a yard down in Arkansas. That's right. I said Arkansas. And he is a plethora of information when it comes to new cars. It's amazing the stuff he knows. And because it's a yard, he's connected to yards all across the country, which is great. So he's a fantastic resource if you guys have car issues and you need to scrounge parts. Mostly newer stuff. They do have some old stuff. But we're going to bring Jimmy on in the second segment. John, where you at? Can we bring in John?
What? Oh. I was just sending pictures. Hold on. Let me get off here.
All right.
I'm here.
All right, so here's the so let's get the whole Craig Jackson thing squared away so people know.
Yeah,
because I'm sure people are probably going, "Oh, I got to leave now because Craig's not on." We're gonna have him on.
Craig's next week, 24th, 8 o'clock, same time slot.
Okay, so there you have it.
He had to push a week.
Yeah. Well, they're busy, I'm sure.
You were supposed to get a hold of Wayne Carini.
And I forgot to do that.
You better do that, unless we double book and have them both on the same episode.
No, I'm going to call Wayne. I forgot.
I'll remind you.
I'm writing it down.
The other date that's available is March 10th right now, unless we push everybody down one. Shorty is the 3rd. March 3rd is Shorty from Grand Resurrection.
Right.
Wayne was supposed to be next week, but we're going to put Craig Jackson in Wayne's spot. So we're jamming up.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. You know?
Yeah. In addition to that, you were talking Goldberg. You're talking Aaron Hagar.
Yep.
I went back and forth with Courtney. She's trying to get scheduled, and she's shooting her show, season 2. I think she's in Atlanta. She's trying to bring it all together, so we'll see there. Brian Johnson from AC/DC.
Yep. AC/DC. He's a car guy.
Yeah, he's a racer. That's going to be a good show.
Yeah. So we're just trying to hammer down dates now for most of these people. We should be good. I'm waiting to find out about a date on Brian Johnson. I gave him a bunch of dates, and I told him to pick whatever date he wants. So we can go from there.
Yeah, I think April is the safest to open it up because things are still moving in March. Everybody's moving around.
Right.
And with Craig, he's on a 30-day crunch for Barrett Jackson. That's March 20th. So he's busy. Can you imagine as big as that show is 30 days in, and he's actually taking the time to talk to us about, what's happening and what's coming across the block, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's huge. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that the man himself's coming on to talk.
Right.
My question is, what's in his collection? Because I know that he has a few. And I also want to know what's coming across that's unique. I know they have a Cobra Super Snake that was owned by Shelby.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, we may be able to get the number 2 guy at Shelby American to come on. Remember I was telling you?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So maybe that's something right after, or, we make that happen. I don't want to mention names until they agree to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That'd be a good show.
Yeah,
we can get the history of everything.
He's got real Shelby stories. He's in his 70s, Vietnam vet. He knows, he's the real deal.
Right.
And like we were talking, I think it's important to capture these guys' stories while they're still, doing their thing.
Right.
Before, because we talked about Gene Wingfield would be another great guest to have him talk, the who's who. And what's happening, you know what I mean? Give us a history lesson.
Back down Winfield.
Yeah, I'll call out there. I don't know anybody right now that knows him, but it doesn't mean we can't figure it out.
Yeah,
he's got to know somebody we know.
Yeah, I'm sure of it.
Right.
It's worth trying to track him down. Because I agree. I mean, we need to get those people. We need to talk to those people. They're going away. I hate to say it, but it's just that's the way it is. They're getting old.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you, that I had the opportunity, and I may have brought this up before, to talk to George Barris. I spent 5 hours talking to him one day at his shop.
Yeah,
he actually stopped what he was doing and sat and ran through it. He sat down. He had a little room right in the middle of the between the showroom and the shop. Had all kinds of toys and memorabilia in it. And he sat down, shut everything off, and just went, what do you want to know? What do you want to talk about?
That's so cool.
And I said to him, I want to start from the beginning. Tell me how you did this and what brought you here. Man, it was a heck of a story. I mean, some of the things that he would say and do. I mean, you and I were talking about it the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty incredible.
You recorded all that. So
I did. I filmed the whole thing.
I think what we should do, quite honestly, I think we should put it out to the people that are on right now. If maybe we, you edit that up and we just do like a 3 or 4 part series. You know what I mean? Where people can sit down and watch the interview. I think it would be cool because I mean, you never put that out. That was for a sizzle or something you did, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a last minute thing. I came out. I was in LA. I can't remember why. This is probably 7 years ago. And it may have been for Modern Hot Rods. I can't remember the sizzle for Speed. That's when Speed was still around. So that's probably 06,
that was a long time.
7. Yeah, that was probably a year, the same year they were rolling into Fox and doing away with Speed. So whenever that was, that's probably 6 or 7, I think, somewhere in there, maybe 8.
Yeah, I think it was like 6 or 7. Because Speed was gone. Think about it. Speed was gone when Velocity started.
Yeah, around the same time. Right.
Because you figure me and Jared were there for 9 years. We did 8 seasons, so we did 9 years.
Right.
So it's at least that old.
Yeah. But he's built cars for the who's who. I mean, I'd be shocked if you're a car guy and don't know something about George Barris.
Right.
The Batmobile, Monkey Mobile, Munsters cars. He did all that. James Dean. Although there were some issues about who actually built the James Dean Porsche that he died in. But in his showroom, he had a duplicate, same exact car that James Dean died in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had... he built cars for Farrah Fawcett, Frank Sinatra. I mean, he had a whole wall of who's who. And it's just an interesting day. I mean, his thing with his brother was, of course, the lead sleds early on.
Right.
And I had asked him, I said, George, not for nothing, but how did you know taking a couple inches out of that roof was the right thing to do? Because it changes the whole look of that car when you take at least 2 inches out. And he looked at me and he says, I took a picture and a pair of scissors. And he says, I just cut the roof off and glued it, taped it back on, and it looked right. So we went and did it. He says, they went out, bought a brand new Mercury, 50 Merc, brought it back, and had it apart within hours, same day, chopping the thing with a saw. God. Can you imagine taking a brand new car and go, hey, guess what we're going to do? I mean, but it looked cool as shit. I mean, you can't deny it.
That's the hold my beer moment,
Yeah, that takes nerve. I mean, it really does. Now, if you're the second guy in line that does that, or the third guy, but you know what? Him and his brother were the pioneers, and he had some. I mean, he told me he burnt down his girlfriend's house, their garage. This is a couple of years back, so it was just he said that he took all the knobs off his parents' kitchen cabinets and put them in his grill. They were freaking out. I mean, he just had story after story of, I took whatever I could get my hands on, which is, nowadays we don't, you could buy stuff out of a catalog and there's millions and millions of parts. Back then in 1950, those guys were using acetylene torches and that's it, and a coat hanger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There was no MIG and TIG welders. You either gas welded or you stick welded it.
Yeah, and you're using a hammer and dolly to make the take care of it before it cooled down. But yeah, I mean, he had some really cool stories. I actually reached out to his daughter, Joji, to set up the appointment to come out. And I sent her a picture of my Merc that I built. And he was busy with his grandson at the time. He was trying to get the grandson to take over the shop because he was probably 79 or so at the time. So Joji showed him the picture of the car that I built. And my first impression was he thought that I paid, checkbook, wrote checks out to have the car built. And he started asking me questions, trying to trip me up, like what grill did you use? What grill opening? He asked me what back window was in it. And within like 3 minutes, he was like, you answered the questions right. You could see it was like I passed the test in a little, because I think most people were like, well, but it was a pretty cool conversation. And then he was digging my car. Actually asked me to bring it to his show, which was like a month later. But of course, I'm from Philadelphia and he's in California. So yeah. I told him, I said, I actually sold the car a couple months before I was out there and shipped it to Australia. And he was a little disappointed because he wanted to see it in person. So yeah.
It was gone. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
It's one of those
Lee's got a picture of it. I mean, I finished that car, I think, in 08, 07, 08. Yeah. LaValle did the fire on it. I flew LaValle in from Washington State and had him, it took him probably 11 hours or so to put the fire on that thing. And just when you thought it was done, he kept going and layering that thing to make it look like it's real fire.
Well,
the base coat you see there, that's all House of Colors. The base coat, it took me probably 3 months to come up with that color. And I picture it looks black. In the shade, it's black. In the booth there, it's black. But Lee, if you have the one where it's hitting the sun, it turned purple. It was no bullshit. It actually would glow purple. I mean, it would flip. And it took me forever to come up with the right combination to get that thing, to flip in color. But what I did, I put ghost flames on this thing. See the purple in it? I mean, it really changes color when it's out in the sun.
Yeah.
I put ghost flames on this thing, put the candy on it, and the whole entire car lifted. All the paint on the car lifted except for where the ghost flames were. And when that happened, I just got done the first coat of candy. When that happened and I saw what took place, I put the gun down on the floor, shut the compressor off, and just walked away from it. I was so disgusted because it took me forever to get this car straight.
God. So
I reached out to House of Color and I said to them, I said, listen, I got a problem with the paint. There's an issue. So they had a tech girl. She calls me back. She says, let's walk through what you did. What was the temperature, humidity, mixture, PSI. She went through the whole this, and this. So she says to me, it's your fault because you waited too long in between coats of candy. And I said, that's not true. I said, because I laid down the first one. She goes, the temperature was too high. She says, you used the wrong, what's a solvent, the catalyst in it. So I listened. I said, yeah, okay. I called her back the next day after thinking about it. And I said to her, I said, I think you're wrong. She goes, why? I said, because if you were right, it would have lifted on the flames too. And she stopped and she says, you know what? You're right. I said, if it was something I did, the whole car would have lifted.
Right.
I said, it's a chemical problem if it only lifted on the base. So she said, let me talk to the guys here about it. I walked in the door the next day, and on my answer machine was John Kosmosky, the founder, the guy that started House of Colors. Yeah. He actually called my house. This is pre-cell phones. I mean, this is, So I called him back. I'm like, shocked. He said, listen, he goes, you're right. It's a chemical problem. He goes, when you're dealing with chemicals, he goes, anything could happen. We ran the batch number. We searched. He goes, the only thing I can tell you is whatever it is you want, I'll send it to you. And I'm like, he goes, I'd like to send somebody out to actually look at the car. And I said, I only have like 2 inches of paint still on it. I sanded the whole car back down. I just took my frustrations out and redid the car. So he said, oh, it's probably because it was like the rockers. I did everything down to the top down. So he said, no problem. Here you go. He goes, I'll put you in contact with my guy in California. Just tell him what you want. So he stops and he says to me, he goes, what is it you're trying to do? Maybe I can help you. So I said to him, I said, not for nothing, but I'm trying to get the same flip as Cadzilla. Remember Boyd's 49, I think it was a 49 Cadillac.
Yeah, the sedan. Yeah.
So he says to me, he goes, I'll call Boyd. I'll figure out what he did. I'll get back to you. And I was like, this guy's, I was like, we can't ask for more.
No kidding.
He calls me back the next day. He goes, get it. You got a pen? I said, yeah. He says, it's this pearl, this pearl, this pearl. He says, you mix, he started rambling through it. And I stopped him. I says, it's not going to work. And he said, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean it's not going to work? This is what Boyd told me works. And I said, let me tell you what I'm doing. What I had in mind. Because I painted everything in my garage purple.
Right.
Trying to come up with this color look. It took forever. So I told him, I said, I took cobalt and I took the violet, candy violet. And I think it was 1 cobalt, 2 violets, mixed them together. Put 2 coats of that over Orion black, the micro. It's like the real fine metallic. I mean, it was just barely, it's not a big flake, real small flake in it. So I said, I put 2 coats of that on. I said, then I took your clear and I took a teaspoon of black and I put it in the clear. I said, I put 2 coats of that over top of the candy. And he says, and it didn't turn to mud? And I said, no, 3 coats, it's mud. 2 coats, when you look straight at it, it's purple. When you look at it on an angle, because the paint builds,
yeah,
it's black. And he said, that worked? I said, yeah. He goes, I'm going to try it. I'm sitting here going, I'm talking to the man. I mean, I was actually like a mad chemist. I spent probably $1,000 trying to mix this because listen, eggplant was for this car and that's it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it had to really work. And I knew it could work. So he was actually a little surprised as to, me rambling off shit with him. But yeah, every couple of days, the UPS truck would pull up with more paint. He just kept sending me shit. And finally, I'm like, okay. I actually still have some of it years later. See, the flake and stuff is still out in my garage.
That's crazy.
Because he was like, here, try this, try that. I mean, he must have sent me about $4,000 worth of product.
Best screw up you ever did.
Oh yeah, that was for him to call me, I was like, shit, I'm nobody.
That is wild.
Yeah,
that is wild. All right, well, hey, don't go nowhere because we got
Junkyard Jimmy.
So Lee, give us our break so we can do what we got to do, and then we'll keep going. All right, so I just want to let you guys know that, like I said earlier, Craig Jackson he wasn't able to make it because he's just got a bunch of stuff going on, getting ready for the show. This is 3 Lefts Don't Make a Right. And me and John have just been talking, telling lies, carrying on. So what we're going to do, so we're not following the normal schedule like we've done in the past. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring on Jimmy. Jimmy, where you be?
What's up, Lou? John Boy.
There's Jimmy. So Jimmy, you were saying that you got a little bit of snow in Arkansas. How much you got?
Got about a foot and still.
So here's my question. You guys don't have a lot of snow removal equipment in that part of the world, do you?
No snow, no. My wife sent me to the grocery store today to get some hamburger meat so she can make chili. The only thing on the meat aisle is 3 beef tongues, a couple cans of chitlins, and some flaming hot Cheetos. There's no bread. There's no milk. There's no meat. That's it.
Man.
Good God,
how are the roads? What's the roads like?
Well, it's a pretty powdery snow this time. For Arkansas, it's usually wet and slushy and really slick here when it snows because it's so humid, but it's so cold. The roads really aren't bad. You take your time, but man, the snow's so deep. If you don't have a 4-wheel drive,
Not for nothing. I told Terry. He said he was going to knows bullshit. Said he was going to try to come on. I just texted him. I got his bourbon. It is now 20 after. It's time to drink, mother. I don't know if you guys got anything to drink. If you don't,
I was going to bring some down, but I didn't. I drank my coffee instead.
Put your glass up. I got extra.
I've been trapped in the house all day with an 8-year-old doing Zern, man.
If I start talking shit, you know why. You're going to have to flag me.
So here's the deal. You guys that are listening, if you have any questions about parts or anything like that, just send a message in to Lee, and he will get it on there so Jimmy can answer it. Other than that, we're just going to keep talking about cars, and so you might as well take advantage of it.
Let me explain Jimmy's talent.
Yeah, explain Jimmy's
I talked to him. He goes off. He won't tell you that this is his talent, but you got to remember, Jimmy's on the phone all day long, picking it up, going, "What do you got? What year? What this?" If you tell him I got a 2004 Dodge Ram, he could tell you what's wrong with it before you even ask him if he's got the part. And he already knows how many he has, and he can tell you what it's going to cost before you even go. He's already answering the question. The thing is that I think is ideal is the fact that if you're looking to buy something,
right,
and you're going, should I get this Toyota or should I get this? And in between he knows, listen, this is what goes bad. This is how much it's going to cost. And he'll steer you in the right direction. And he could also, just like you would think, tell you what fits with what. Because he's been doing it for how many years now? 15 years, Jimmy?
11.
11. He knows. And the calls are all the same, are they not? The transmissions, do you have this? You're not wasting your time with a window switch. It's like, enough already. $3 I'm not answering the phone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're $75 minimum. If you're calling me, it's $75 if we walk up the yard to get a part. So you better make it a bundle if you're calling me for little stuff. Yeah. My guy, I can't quit pulling a $500 rear end to go grab you a $10
something you can get somewhere
radio
else, or even get it on eBay or wherever else, have it mailed to your house for nothing.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I got you.
Exactly. Time is money.
So if you guys have any questions or a car or what or prices, Junkyard Jimmy knows the answer. And if not, he'll get back to you tomorrow and he'll have the answer.
Yeah, exactly. He'll give you the information you need. So guys, let's stop and think about this for a second. We got Barrett Jackson coming up in less than 30 days. So we're trying to go. We're trying to make that happen. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm more than likely going to drive. I can stop into Arkansas and see Jimmy. Grab some parts and keep going to Barrett Jackson. That's what I'm thinking.
That's only 1,000 miles, Jimmy. I mean,
come on.
You two guys are too afraid to fly.
I'm not afraid to fly.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy is. Jimmy's a big pussy. That's all there is to it. See, I can say that here. You can't touch me.
Yeah, but eventually you can see him.
Yeah. Well, maybe he'll forget by then. I can blame it on the bourbon.
Bradshaw. It's all
Yeah.
Bradshaw's fault.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, I'm just saying, we could get a shopping list together.
March 20th. It's coming up, March 20th. Yeah. And it is something to see. I'll tell you. The energy, I was telling Lou, compared to SEMA. SEMA's all business and people are in work mode. At Barrett-Jackson, people are having a good time, drinking, having fun. It's a totally different energy.
Yeah.
It's just something you have to experience. And on a Saturday night, if you're up on the block and shit's crazy, I mean, it's just, I met Goldberg there. I met John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard there. Jay Leno, I posted a picture yesterday of Jay Leno that he was up on the block.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a car guy's dream. That shit doesn't happen at SEMA, not the same mode. You know what I mean? It's just a different thing.
It's different clientele too. You got to understand. I mean, at SEMA, it's more business. That's the bottom line. They're trying to do business. As where Barrett-Jackson, you're trying to make stuff happen. Adding to your collection, thinning out your collection, whatever it is you're doing. Guys are building cars, trying to get a big hit so they can move on to the next level. So yeah, I could see where Barrett-Jackson is a different atmosphere. I could see it. Yeah. Jimmy,
tell us about that 57 Chevy you picked up not long ago. I'd sent Lee. Lee, did you get the picture? Is Lee there? Or did he go to the bathroom?
He's there.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. There's that POS.
Yeah, right. So a customer of mine calls me around Thanksgiving and says, "Hey, man, I know you like old cars. A friend of mine's father passed away. Got a lot of cars she needs to get rid of." Well, he knows I'm a square body Chevrolet truck guy. First picture I get is of a square body Chevrolet truck. So I'm right off the bat, I'm interested. The next car is this, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what is it. So I text John, and we figure out it's a 57 two-door handyman.
Yep.
They made less handyman than they made nomads. So long story short, I'm blowing the guy's phone up trying to get the Chevrolet truck and trying not to let him know how excited I am about the wagon so he don't, rip my head off. But bought the truck, get the wagon. The wagon is now sitting in my driveway, much to my wife's dismay. And trying to figure out.
It's covered in snow now. It's covered in snow now.
A lot of snow. But this car's been sitting for years. It was sitting in a hayfield on top of a mountain in northwest Arkansas, just sitting there, right beside a 65 Buick Riviera that I tried to buy too, that still had the 2 4-barrel carb Wildcat engine in it.
Damn.
I wasn't able to get it. I tried. It wasn't for lack of trying. This guy had a 64 Malibu convertible, 61 Impala bubble top, 265 Rivieras,
58 Chevy,
58.
Yep. 60. There was a 67 Impala in one of the pictures I saw.
67. That is the one car. I got blinded by the truck and the wagon, and I missed the Impala. It was an SS car, factory air conditioned. The guy had a lot of work done to it, and the guy was there loading it up at the same time I was getting the wagon. And he started talking to me. He's like, "So you're the guy that snagged the wagon?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "You're the guy that got the Impala that I missed." We opened the trunk. It's full of parts. Everything's there. I missed it. I got blinded. But, I got two.
It happens. It happens.
Picked up 2 of them, so that's okay. I turned the square body truck into a 72. I traded it for a 72 short bed factory tilt truck, which I've been looking for a while. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. What are you going to do with the 57? You selling it? I got $1.
If my wife has her way.
I got a new microphone. I got $1 for you, Jimmy.
$2. I want my $2.
1 million.
It's so cool. I don't know, but I've got so many other
Flip it.
Can't build them all. Yeah, I know. You always
put that thing on Marketplace. Send it down the road. Put that money into the truck.
Probably what'll happen.
Right.
Probably what's going to happen because it needs. It's a normal It needs 4 pans. It's got lower rut.
Yeah.
But
it is what it is.
You just don't find them, and to find it sitting in the middle of a field, forgotten.
Yeah, it's got a story.
On the top of a mountain.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
You hear the banjos playing, you're close.
What? I hear you.
But it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Allison said it's for sale.
Yeah. She's.
Ah, look at that shit. Look at that. Yo, Lee, block her. Just block her. Knock her down. We don't want to hear that shit. We don't want to hear that shit. Yeah, your aunt says you're the greatest American hero. I don't know if you saw that.
Gosh.
I'd never live that down.
Never live that down. I still feel that headache.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife told Jimmy when he was a kid, I don't know, he's like 8 or 10 years old, that if he jumped through the screen, he could fly just like the greatest American hero.
Ah.
Well, of course, he believed her. She was the babysitter watching after him. Of course, Jimmy gave it a shot, almost ended up in the hospital.
Way to go, Linda.
Yeah.
Right?
The old floor console television almost did me in. There's almost no Junkyard Jimmy.
Still got a lump on his head, though. He's still looking for payback. Not yet. No.
One day.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Shit.
That's funny.
I told you guys you could take the wagon, go on a power tour with it.
Yeah. We'd have to run it.
Just a little work.
Yeah.
I got to take pictures of the short bus. I'm still leaning on the bus, man.
Dude,
I think because you can put people in it and you can make it a serious road trip. That's what I think.
The Mack truck. The Mack truck.
Or the Mack would be
I talked to the guy with the Mack truck. I called him the next day, and that thing's been sitting for 20 years, and he couldn't even verify that it went down the road. He goes, as far as I remember, so it needs to be redone top to bottom.
See?
And I asked him about the price. What do we do? How much? He said, I got 30 people on it, so it's going. I'm like, good luck with that. I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah.
So that wasn't moving. But the dude with the fire truck, he said that he had no problem jumping in it and has several times and driven 8 hours. Fire truck only's got 17,000 miles on it. Like I was telling Lou, we could fill that thing up with tequila. You know what I mean? So when we get to the stop at the Hot Rod Power Tour, we just crack the valve, get your solo cup, and we're a hit. Right? Have one of them squeezers, the lime juice on the side, right? We're good to go. Shit. We're going to have a party. You know what I mean? But that I could get that Jeep, and we could cut that thing apart with the drivetrain in it and do something else with it later, or slam it, do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a thought. But we got still looking. Still look, and we got time.
Yeah, we got time. We just got to figure out what we're gonna do, because I think it would be great video on top of everything else, and it'd be fun. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it'd be worthwhile. I think it's just one of those things. I mean, you got enough people sitting there wanting to do stuff, and why not do it? Why not join the crowd? You know?
Yeah,
it's one of those things, man. You know, make it happen. But it's just, I think what's got to happen is in order to do the power tour, the country's got to open up, because man, nobody knows what's going on. Like I talk to people and they're like, yeah, I want to go, but I'm waiting to see what happens. I think that is the biggest problem right now. Not that people don't want to go. It's just that they're waiting to find out an answer if they can make it happen. That's
all that work, and it's tabled. I don't know if they set dates. I mean, Mike last week was saying he got word, but I searched online. I didn't see anything, not yet. But I don't know if the fire truck's got air either. I didn't even ask him that.
No,
you know what I mean?
There.
We have to put it in there. Why not put it in?
Back of the cab. Remember?
Crack a window.
That's what the vent.
You don't need to. Just go back of the cab.
We can take 11,000 BTUs and cut a hole in the side of the thing. You can go real ghetto with it, right? Put a converter in it, flick the switch.
The old ones.
We freeze out. The window unit comes along with it.
Yeah, window. There you go.
Right? Screw it. Enclose the back. You can put a sleeping area in the back of the thing.
Right.
Like I said, we could get the stripper poles on the roof and in the back. We need a sound system, some disco lights. I'm just saying. Right?
Hey,
Look,
Christopher Lyle says build the Maverick.
Yeah.
Dude,
We got three fat guys in a Maverick ain't going to work.
No. But
Jimmy's going to take up the whole back seat. You got to see how big Jimmy is.
I'm just saying.
None of us are little.
You know?
Yeah.
No steer. So
We need something with some elbow room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Got to have
So,
elbow.
Lou, what are you working on this week?
What
What did
am
you
I
get done
working?
at the shop? Yeah, what'd you get done at the shop?
Man, I did the transmission cross member in a 69 Chevelle.
Yeah.
And what happened was, because I've been moving stuff around so much, I didn't have the stuff I needed to finish it. So I made all the pie cuts to do the exhaust, which I'm going to show next week. I'll go through because I had to figure out how to do it. So I got all that done, and I'll have the welded up pieces to start doing the exhaust. But I got to bring stuff from home because I moved a bunch of stuff to the house. So that's what I got to do. Oh yeah. And Lee keeps telling me to tell everybody. We get all these messages saying, I wish you were back on TV. Go to my YouTube page, Garage Insider TV. Go to the YouTube page. That's where I'm at. Because I'm trying not to go back on TV.
Yeah.
Want to do my deal. So that's where I'm at,
Yeah, no rules. I got to answer to anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on. But yeah, I did I got the headers on. I had to fix the mounts because the Chevelle comes with the taller mount. So I got all that changed out, got that squared away, put the headers on, and the way the headers dump out, they're a mid-length header. So I've got to make some 90s to, because the car is going to be 5 inches off the ground. I got to do that, and then we'll be good. And then I can start running the exhaust. But I had to pie cut everything because just a 45 wouldn't have worked. It was just too big. I'd be into the bend, too deep into the bend, and it wouldn't have worked. So that's where I'm at.
You painting the frame, powder coat, and how far along till then?
I will get it painted, but right now I'm leaving it the way it is because this is something that I learned when I was doing muscle car, which is when you, especially on TV, normally I wouldn't do it, but for show and tell purposes, if you leave the frame the way it is, and then you just clean wherever you're going to weld and do all your modifications, when you're done, you do an overhead shot and people can really wrap their head around, okay, this is the original frame and this is everything that you did to make it what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really stands out at that point. And then I'll blow the frame apart, get it all painted. I'm not going to powder coat. It's going to be painted. I'll take it to the school and I'll get the students to paint it. I'll buy the paint and I'll get the students to paint it. And then this way they get experience, I get the paint, and we're good. That's the way I'll do it. And it works out better that way, for everybody.
Yeah.
The kids get experience. So why not
right.
take advantage of it, Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I'll do. And it'll be cool because you can, like I said, you can see all the modifications. It just works out better that way. And then next week, after I start doing the exhaust, the plan is to also take the transmission out of the slow bourbon and get ready to jam the 5-speed in it. So that way, because when I get under it, I'm going to do transmission and fuel lines, and then I'm going to tear out the rear end because I got to build a new rear end for it. Yeah. And Carl, I teach at Central Piedmont Community College. I'm at the Huntersville campus. I part-time teach there. That's where I'm at. Yep.
Jimmy, what happened to that 70 Nova you were trading up?
No,
Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it. I got to go pick it up. Yeah, it's a cream puff.
You're not going to park that in the yard, too. Are you going to get rid of it? What are you doing? What are you doing, man? You're like Fred Sanford over there. What are you doing?
Is my wife still on?
I can't tell. Lee should have blocked her, but we'll see. Yeah.
She doesn't know about the 70 Nova, John. Thanks, buddy.
The one you bought for me is what I meant.
Nah, it's got
Oh, shit.
The guy put new quarters on it, but a tree fell through the guy's shop, through the roof of his shop, and landed on the roof and right at the windshield. It's got a pretty good hickey in it right there, but it's got a ton of new parts with it. So I don't know. It's about an hour from here. I got to go pick it up as soon as the snowpocalypse is over.
Right.
But, and Albert wants to know, Albert, I'm going to have the frame blasted. I'm going to have it sandblasted. That's for sure. Yeah. That way, there's a guy that the students deal with. It's like 10 minutes from the school. He'll media blast the frame or the body, and then he will put it in he'll put in an epoxy primer for you. Yeah. That's what he does. And then we'll be good.
Jimmy's getting shit online here. Mousen's beating your ass from a distance. That's not good.
Threw him under the bus. Jeez.
That's not good. That's not good.
It'll be all right.
Jimmy, when you bringing that Corvette that you bought home? Is that still over your girlfriend's?
No Corvette.
Is that Allison behind you?
I might know where a 68 Chevelle sitting, but no Corvette.
There you go. There you go.
I gotta finish her car. It's been sitting in the garage for 2 years.
What kind of car is it?
67 RS Camaro.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you better get that done.
Yeah. Slow go, Lou. It's a slow
go. What do you got? What do you got left?
You get that done, you got it out.
What do you got left on the Camaro?
Everything. I took it apart.
Oh, well. You got it in paint?
Most of it's at the media blaster. Getting a lot of it, media blasted. They're kind of slow. They got a big contract with a Caterpillar factory here, so he's a little behind, but got to get it. Got the doors ready, the hood, trunk. We're going to cut down. We're shaving the drip rails off of it. And going to cut and tuck the.
Are you?
Yeah, do a few things. So I'm having the bumpers blasted so we can paint them. I don't really do any chrome. I don't think on it. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I got to drop this. I got to drop the subframe and the rear. I got to get all that dropped out so I can start doing the suspension and the brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big project.
I gotta finish one. I keep starting. I keep starting more.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's an all common problem, my good man.
Yes. Well, I'm trying to finish an '87 short bed C10 right now. Me and my buddy John, who's commenting on here, we're putting I got talked into putting a 95 Fleetwood LT1 into this truck, and we've been freshening it up and getting it ready. And I got a Turbo 400 getting built right now, kind of waiting on it. Just got the new fuel tank and everything put in, and slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Working on it. Something to do.
Digging what you're laying down. I'm digging it.
Yeah. I hear you.
Chevy trucks, man. Arkansas. Chevy trucks are everywhere.
Oh, I know.
And it's crazy what people are paying for them right now.
Yeah, dude, square bodies are through the roof now.
It is, man. Yeah, I love them. I buy and sell every one of them I can get my hands on.
Yeah.
It's just all part of it all depends on where you're at in the current.
Yeah.
Here, man, Ford trucks, I've got a new diesel truck. If I'm going to buy a new truck, it's going to be a Ford. But the older ones around here, Chevrolet. Everybody around here wants a Chevy.
Well,
the Fords are.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, you got to realize is that what's going on now is the Ford trucks are becoming more popular, and that's because now they finally started, making front ends for them. I personally am not a fan of the Crown Vic front end because it's wide. It's a wide front end, and you turn up having to run weird wheels and all that. But there's so many, a lot of these big name chassis names, your Scott's Hot Rod, Jim Morrison, your Roadster Shop, all those guys are building front ends to eliminate the twin I-beams. And that was always the big knock on the Ford trucks was the twin I-beams. It was always the big knock. And, you can't align them. They're a pain in the ass. So now you can actually buy a clip. I know one of them, you come so far out from the firewall, lop off the front frame orange, and boom, you're good. And you got a good front end under it. I got 2 Ford trucks at the shop right now where I'm doing my show, and the only reason why I have them is because I want to do my own front end for them, so I can eliminate the twin I-beams. All I'm going to do is do the front ends, lower them, put an engine in them, and then flip them. I don't need them. I just want it for the measurements. That's all I want it for.
All right.
So
the man I work for, his grandfather left him his 70 model F100, and he put the Crown Vic. He's had all that done. The Crown Vic front. He put a Mustang, a GT Mustang rear end in it. He's having an old 460 built right now. It's almost ready to drop back in.
Yeah.
He's been working on it for a few years now, but it was his grandfather's truck, so it's cool.
Yeah, I mean they're good looking trucks. The 70s Fords are good looking trucks, and because of the front ends, they've become really popular. You're starting to see them in the magazines now, and guys are really starting to build them out because they're cheap. That's the other thing. Right now, they're still kind of cheap when you think about it.
Yeah,
because you ain't gonna touch a square body or a 67 to 72 where you can pick up a Ford truck for.
Yep. Yeah, I got a buddy. I just seen your pictures, John. I got a friend building. He owns a body shop. He took 2 crew cab 76 Fords and cabs and an extended cab 76. So he's got a 6-door. He's welded it all together. He's got a 6 and a half-door truck that he's building. He took the roof off of an Econoline van. And he's going to weld it on.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
Whew, a lot of work. It's cool.
Yeah, that's different.
He's gonna need, when he lowers it, he's gonna have to put casters in the middle so he doesn't high center.
Is it 4-wheel drive, or what's he slamming it? What's he doing? Jimmy. Is it 4-wheel drive? I think we lost Jimmy.
I think we lost Jimmy.
Jimmy, you there, Jimmy?
Jimmy.
I think he lost sound.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yes, we're having technical difficulties with Jimmy some reason. I will remove him. Y'all keep talking, and we'll see if we can resolve it.
Yeah, bring him back in. Yeah,
But behind the curtain.
Yeah, the Crown Vic. A lot of guys are taking that Crown Vic clip and putting them in the Lincoln, the '62 Lincoln that I had. A lot of guys are taking straight rails. And they're dropping a Coyote in it because it gives them the room. Right now, you got to notch the frame. Well, it's a unibody, but you got to notch the support out of it to get the Coyote to fit. And I'm not about that.
Right.
I mean, it just, when you do that, it jeopardizes everything. Is Jimmy back? Can you hear us? He still can't hear. Did he log on and come back? No, he's gone. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? We need to well, you know what? We'll do it. We won't do it. I was going to say let's go to a commercial break, but Lee's working on Jimmy, so we ain't going to worry. We'll keep talking. But what will, my thought is the reason why I don't like the Crown Vic front end is because it's that cab forward design. So the wheels are pushed forward and out. And that's why on some, like on the Ford trucks, that's why you got to run a wheel that has almost no, let me see, it's positive offset because the offset goes to the inside, right? Yeah. So, the wheel looks like a front wheel drive wheel.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's flat out. It's flat out front.
Right.
And that's why I don't like that because, and not only that, the cross member is wide. So you got to put spacers in there in order to get it tied up to the frame. And that's why I don't like them. I would rather just build a front end or buy a front end if need be. But I don't like the way it lays out. I just don't like the way it lays out.
Yeah, the Lincoln may be wide enough to be able to pull off the wheel and offset it because it's pretty wide. But I hear what you're saying. If it looks like that, it looks like it's flush on the outside. Yeah, but it's not going to fly.
Because if you look at guys that have used it on the trucks, the wheel is it's right in line with the fender. So when you slam it, you got a bit, now you risk getting into other issues.
You back, Jimmy? Can you hear us?
What's up? Yeah, I'm
There
back.
you
All right.
go. We lost you. That's why I'm not a fan of using that front end. And it's a cast aluminum, it's a cast aluminum front end. Everyone I've ever seen, the cross member. So I would not even want to weld on that thing. Because I've had guys say, well, just cut it in half and move it together.
It's
cast aluminum, dude.
Yeah.
I would rather, I think, if you really wanted it, if you were really married to that idea of using it, because they are plentiful and they're relatively inexpensive, I would take the whole front end apart, take that cross member, build a fixture, and then make the fixture out of steel. Just make it narrower, and make sure your numbers are right for your alignment, and then you have what you want. Because at the end of the day, you know what your width is on the frame rails on the truck. So even if you came about 10 inches out from the firewall and cut the frame on the truck, you know what the width of the rails are. You can make the cross member fit that, and then you get all the stuff, the McPherson struts, you get the brakes, you get everything you need, and then you can run a wheel that actually looks right underneath the truck. That's what I would do if I really wanted to use that front end. I mean, it would take time, but when you got done, it would be perfect. It would be narrower and it'd be fine. And you get, the brakes and all that.
You guys having any trouble getting new parts? Because I got nothing but problems.
I'm having trouble getting parts. I mean, and honestly, that's what's slowing me down at doing the show. I mean, I'm really having a hard time getting parts because people, whatever's going on with the Wu-Tang, it's slowing everything down. And when I talked to Bruce at Modern Driveline, he was going to send me the stuff, and then his whole crew got the Wu-Tang. So that was a couple weeks right there. I mean, it's that's just the way it is. But I've called several people at big businesses, and I'm not getting answers. I called someone, and then a month and a half later, they called me back, and by then, I was done. I moved on.
Yeah, I'm waiting for stuff for 4 months for that Trans Am. Everybody's dragging their feet, not doing shit.
Yeah.
I mean, the overflow for the radiator, I've been waiting since October. And they sent me the wrong one. I was telling you.
That's coming from China, so that's a different animal.
Yeah, they're acting like it's made in America, but it's not. It's Hong Kong Fooey. Yeah. Same with the radio. I ordered the digital, replica for the Trans Am. Nothing. We're waiting for a bezel, waiting for this, waiting for that. So, and that's the same thing, October. And I'm thinking another month I'll be pulling the thing out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be able to drive it here in Pennsylvania, it should start to warm up in a month. Probably right after Barrett Jackson.
Who knows?
Yeah.
True. We might have an Arctic summer.
Yeah. Global warming, right?
That got Jimmy's attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
I put the digital replica radio in my 87, the one that I built a couple years ago. It's okay. It just all of a sudden one day quit playing, and I called them, and they were like, "Well, it's a ground," and I tried everything,
Yeah.
And then one day I hit a bump, and it just started playing again, and it's worked ever since. Okay.
Yeah, it's Hong Kong. Yeah, it's Hong Kong Fooey.
Yeah. It looks good,
Well, but versus the original.
Know what's going on with Edelbrock? The last I heard, Carl, is they were moving to Mississippi. That I do know. There is some group bought it before Vic died, and it's going. And now they're moving out of California because they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna keep the foundry. I've talked to some people, and they said the foundry was going to go away. And then I heard some people say that when they go to Mississippi, the foundry was going to come. So I don't have an answer to that, but I did see a thing saying that they were coming from they were going from California to Mississippi. Yeah, I do. I read that, and someone else told me that. So that I think is a go. Yep.
Trucker Daddy's checking in.
Trucker Daddy from Quebec.
I think he was in last week too. Checked in.
That's because I mentioned him on the show one time.
Yeah. There you go.
I told him his name was too long, and we're just gonna call him Trucker Daddy. So that's where we are.
Yeah, man, I hear you. So next week, Craig Jackson.
Yep.
Following week, Wayne, or we got to move Wayne. You got to call Wayne.
I'll call Wayne tomorrow.
So it's probably the 10th. March 10th is probably best for him.
Okay.
The 3rd is Shorty from Iron Resurrection. Get an update from him. What's happening?
Yeah.
Then we got Aaron Hagar. You're lining up.
Yep. I'm
Goldberg.
waiting for your date.
Yeah, we got to get the phone system set up for people to call in so we can harass Goldberg.
Yeah, we really need that. We need to get that set up. Yeah.
Bradshaw said he's in Hawaii and doesn't have good signal, so he couldn't buzz in.
That's fine.
Yeah, but we got his bourbon here. We're going to see his bourbon again. See his bourbon. He's going to send me a case of this shit. I just got to hold this up for a few minutes. I told him I need a fire truck's worth, about 12,000 gallons. We'll swing through Tennessee and pick it up. But anyhow, yeah, after that, who do we got? We got Aaron Hagar, Courtney Hanson I'm working on. See if she can line something up. And we got to reach out to Winfield, Gene Winfield, see if we can get him nailed down because that's a cool story. Mario Andretti was brought to me.
That'd be cool.
He's you know, he lives here in PA. About
We would
an
have
hour.
to let the Monday morning race to do that interview.
Yeah, that, and if I know Petty Motorsports has their own podcast, but I was going to reach out to my boys down there at Petty's Garage and see if I can line up Richard.
Yeah.
And yeah, Lee's got to chime in on that because he'd be the guy for that. I mean, he's the encyclopedia.
Real quick, Albert wants to know about a bent frame on a Monty. First of all, I'm guessing it's like a 70, 71. And what I can do is Albert send an email address to Lee, and I'll get it from him, and I will send you the true way measurements for that frame, and it tells you where to measure everything, how to exit out, what holes are for what, and you can figure out what exactly is wrong with it if you do that. So just send an email to him. I'll snap a picture of it and I'll send it to you so you'll be ready to rock. I just need to know what year it is. You know, I mean, if it's a mid 80s car, I think I have the Trueway manual for that. So either way, I should be able to cover you on that, just so you know. And then we'll be good.
There you go.
Yeah. Matter of fact, do I have any down here? No, I don't. No, I haven't moved them down here yet. I got to move them down here because I got a bunch of them. Tori found it. Tori found a bunch of them for me. So I got a bunch, and they're important manuals. So they're good.
If anybody has questions for Craig, a couple. I mean, we have probably 3 pages, more than a couple. But yeah, get it to us, and we'll run it by them.
Yeah.
I think a couple people have the same question. But the goal within 2-3 weeks is to have a phone system set up so people can actually call in and ask and touch the people that we're talking to instead of just sitting there typing up stuff.
Right.
So it should be helpful. You know what I mean? So that I think is, we can line up Aaron Hagar or Sammy Hagar or somebody that's, Brian Johnston from AC/DC, which should be a cool ass show. I mean,
right.
That guy, my questions are, like I was telling you the other day, is, how did they find him or did he find them? And because he took over and started as the lead, never skipped a beat. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think, what's that story all about? But he is a car guy. I mean, I've watched a couple of videos prepping for that interview.
Right. Right.
He's real deal. He's in Florida. And he said the first time he ever got any money was when he joined a band. He bought himself a Chevy Blazer. So, he says it was huge, and we took it back, I guess, to where'd you say he was from? He's from
Scotland.
Scotland, yeah.
Yeah, he's from Scotland.
So he probably shipped it over, and they were freaking out, going, "What is this monster?"
Yeah, he couldn't drive it on any of the streets. He was on both sidewalks.
Yeah. But that's going to be a good one. That should be a pretty cool interview. But, again, if you guys want to see somebody, we'll try to reach out, make it happen. Like I said, Mario Andretti, I'm going to see if we can pull that off. So he's probably 70 some years old.
Yeah. Yeah. And
there's some cool stories there. He's from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Like I said, he's hour, 10 minutes from me.
Yeah.
So they say his 69 Camaro that he had back in the day is still floating around somewhere around here.
Really?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I think it's the original pace car, NASCAR. I mean, the car that he drove in a race or some shit. I don't know. Damn. Lee would know. Lee, do you remember what Camaro Mario Andretti had or ran at one point?
I'm not sure what Camaro you're referring to, but interesting fact, the car that Mario Andretti won the Daytona 500 with, which was his first NASCAR start, and he won it as a rookie. He's one of the 8 drivers to do it. Michael Medal actually just did that this past weekend. He was another rookie to win it. Anyway, that car that was won, that he won in, actually became later on one of Darrell Waltrip's first NASCARs that he ever raced with, and it is in the collection of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum.
Oh, wow. Ooh. See, that's why we have Lee.
Yeah. We bring on the old racers. He's got to be on screen for that one.
That's why we have Lee.
And if they need parts, we're going to have Junkyard Jimmy on there if they're looking for something.
We're working on getting our bases covered here. Yeah. All right, everybody. So here's the deal. We're gonna sign off, but I want everyone to know thanks for showing up. Sorry about Craig Jackson having to cancel because he's just too busy getting his show together, and we had to wing it today. It's not a big deal. We'll be fine. Jimmy, thanks for coming on, and for you guys, we can do a regular segment with Junkyard Jimmy. We can bring him on whenever we need to. So if you have questions, get them together, send them to us. You can either send it to 3 Lefts Don't Make a Right at Gmail or Garage Insider TV at Gmail, Garage Insider, at Gmail. Just say it's for Junkyard Jimmy so we can get them taken care of. And next week we're gonna have Craig Jackson. We're gonna have Craig come on, Craig Jackson, and we'll be good to go. And I'm gonna call Wayne Carini and see if he'll take the 10th so we can make this happen. Because it was just a small hiccup in the road. We're fine though, guys. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Jimmy, John. Yep. Talk to you later. And Lee, as always, thanks for doing what
Thanks, Lee.
Yes, I've got one question for Jimmy.
What do you got?
So, what college football team do you pull for, Jimmy?
Hey, the Razorbacks, man. Come on.
Go Texas.
There you go.
Nah. Hook 'em horns.
Oh, Lou, are we done here?
Yes, we are.
All right. Talk to you next week, guys.
All right, guys. Next week.
Later. Thanks.
Thanks.
See ya.